The question everyone is asking, and from myself as well, what does daily life actually cost here? And just start with the most small things first. When you
Right.
begin your morning routine, how much would it cost in Da Nang City? And how does that compare to where most of our viewers are watching from? So what can a foreigner actually own in Da Nang City? It
And
sounds
then-
like a living cost is quite cheap
Right,
and
correct.
affordable. Hello everyone, another postcard from the Realtique house today. So I am Justin, JC, and next to me is...
Casey, nice to meet you.
And guess where we are right now? We are at Da Nang City, one of the most livable cities in the whole world. And it's one of our business trip, and it's such a pleasure to be here and do the postcard at Cá Chuồng Coffee. It's more like a camping, coffee drinking area for all the
Right.
people to go here and enjoy the beach and have a good day here. So back to the topic today. So we are at Da Nang. Of course, the postcard today is going to talk about Da Nang City. So what is the trending? What's it updating? What's news? What they have been doing well? What's going to happen in the future? So stay tuned with us.
Right, thank you a lot. And then, could you let us know a little bit about our podcast today, the main points will be about?
Absolutely, Casey. So picture this. We are standing on the riverfront of Da Nang, and the sky is blue. 10 of the best fireworks team in the world lighting up at the Hang River over 6 nights for the competitions. That's the DIFF, Da Nang International Fireworks Festivals. And the Da Nang International Fireworks Festivals is what the most people don't realize this. The company put on the show is actually the same company that owns a huge share of the skyline behind it. So talk about that a little bit. What the company behind it and what the DIFF means to the people here in Da Nang.
Yeah, so a lot of people in Da Nang already knows that there is a big developer behind on the scene in Da Nang, and we all know that the name is Sunroof. And if you come to Da Nang, you will hear about the name like the Banana Hill.
It's everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
in
also
Da Nang City.
A attracting point developed by Da Nang.
Absolutely. So, as the Casey just mentioned, so wherever you go to Da Nang, you can see the sunroof or any sun activity labels or shopping mall or any entertainment center everywhere. For example, like Banana Hills, Sun Downtown, Sunroof. Speaking of that, Da Nang Sunroof is the big one in Da Nang City right now. So let's get to it. Set on the stage. Why is Da Nang having such a moment right now compared to the other cities? Why they got all the attentions? Why DIFF? Why DAFF is not a festival movies? It's happening right now in Da Nang. Why is everyone come to Da Nang right now, Casey?
Yeah, a few things landed, especially from this May to July. We will have a DIFF, which means the Da Nang International Da Nang International Firework Festival. In the next upcoming 11th July, it's going to be the final between China and Portugal teams.
Wow, the results already been out.
Right.
So the final would be China and the Portugal. Stay after everyone.
Yeah, and another thing is why Da Nang is getting more people because recently Da Nang is merged with the Quảng Nam province to
It got
become
bigger.
bigger. Right. There are a lot of countries coming to Da Nang to compete in the DIFF, and this EIFF is also run and operated by Sunroof. Yeah,
okay.
and it's not this year, but it's yearly. So you can see this is a real magnetic that keep attracting a lot of people. Not only just because Da Nang has a beautiful beach, and it's also because of these activities.
So the Sunroof's name is up everywhere in Da Nang today, from the past, present, and also the future.
Correct.
Because as from my knowledge, the DIFF will be continuing from further years.
Right.
Not just this year, not just last year.
And we can see that this some kind of specialty of sunroof because everywhere sunroof goes, we try to have the firework show over there, not the same level of the DIFF, but like for example, we go to Vũng Tàu and
There's still fireworks.
yeah, but
I think
weekly like
it's
every
more
weekend.
like a symbol of celebration
Right.
that Sunroof want to spread out to the Vietnamese people.
Correct.
Anywhere or everywhere they have the sunroof there, there would be properties, there would be wealthy, there would be celebration of the big one of the big investor in Vietnam right now. Okay, so the question everyone is asking, and from myself as well, what does daily life actually cost here? And just start with the most small things first. When you begin your morning routine, how much would it cost in Da Nang City?
So like I'm having a very good coffee right here on the beach. You can see right behind me. Beautiful. Like
The salted coffee in Da Nang is strongly recommended by everyone. It's become my favorite drink. It's very common here. They drink a lot of salted coffee. So keep that in noted.
yeah. So like a proper Vietnamese iced coffee like this costs you about $1.
Okay, USD.
Yeah, US dollar. It's called a cafe soda, and you can sit on the river view cafe all the morning like this, and then enjoy life. And talking about the food, then like a bowl of Vietnamese cuisine, we have like phở or like noodles, like will be about $2. Yeah,
It
and
sounds
then
like a living cost is quite cheap
Right,
and
correct.
affordable.
and but those are the most meals in Vietnam. And if you have the mix between the Westerners, like cuisine, it's going to be about $2 or $3. So it's not very
It costs a
expensive.
bit more, but still affordable.
Right. So like let's if like calculate all of the meal costs per year, then it can add up around $250 to $300 a month just for the food.
Okay. So summarize about what Casey just said. So the living costs here for daily living costs, for food, for drinks, and even for accommodation is quite cheap and really reasonable compared to another big cities with the same landscape, same infrastructure, and same beautiful sceneries like Khe Beach. And speaking about Khe Beach, it is one of the most beautiful beach in the world. And is that the whole main beach in Da Nang City? People just go here because of the Khe Beach?
Yeah, you can say that because like Da Nang has a very long coastline and it's usually called the Khe Beach. And the good thing about this beach is like it's totally free. So you can just park your motorbike on the sidewalk and just walk onto the beach and then use the beach and then like go back to your hotel or to your accommodation. And you don't have to pay anything for that. There's no like resort wristband or there's no like daily pass. Yeah, it's completely free and like and clean. And then usually the people come here early in the morning until 9 or 10 a.m. You can see right
Just
now.
right now
people-
on the beach, there are people walking around, enjoy the sun, enjoy the heat, and enjoy the weather.
Yeah.
So talking about a bit of the accommodation, about the living costs, renting or buying for even either overseas people or local people from somewhere else, not from Da Nang City. So what about the budget in the realistic?
Usually the one bedroom apartment, the fully furnished one in Da Nang will be about $1,000 to $1,300. So we are talking about something very nice and then modern and then usually like, suitable with the foreigners. So if the foreigners can just lower the bar and then get acquainted, get familiar with the locals level, then the rental can be even pushed down around only $800 a month.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. And it's still, again, for your opinion, the budget for renting here is quite okay.
Yeah.
It's standard compared
It's
to
very good.
the good city like this.
Right.
All right. How about commute when you go around? when you travel around, when you go from this area to the other area, from the beach to the river, from your hotel to the supermarket, how much would it cost? And what's the most transportation here in Da Nang City?
Usually people go around Vietnam in general and in Da Nang specific by the motorbikes. So they just go around by the motorbikes, and usually you can rent a motorbike a month will be roughly about $60 a month. Yeah.
Alrighty, and would be motorbike? How about the car or even walking distance? Is it still possible here?
Yeah, you can still try to wrap a car, but usually people don't use the car much. In here, like they prefer to use a bike because it's more convenient to go around.
So add it up all together for the transportation. How much would it cost? And what does it look like?
All right, so put everything together and a comfortable like beach, adjacent lifestyle from a single foreigner lands around like will be around like 1,000 to 1,013 US dollar a month. So everything in. If you live a little bit more like a local, then you can even push it down to around 800 to $900 a month. Like, I mean, everything already included, like from the accommodation, from the food, from the motorbikes, and yeah, it's been. You can double check this information everywhere on the internet, and those are the usually the Nomads keep saying again and again.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how does that compare to where most of our viewers are watching from?
Yeah, usually I think it's pretty cheap.
For example, I'm from Ho Chi Minh City. We are from Ho Chi Minh City. And I used to live in Sydney City as well.
Okay.
So how are the big cities compared to Da Nang City in terms of the life standard? We can tell
I
that.
think this one like you can answer because like I'm also from Ho Chi Minh City. But if you are from Sydney, like another beach city, right?
That's a whole different story.
Right.
Well, Sydney is the most expensive city in the world. And in terms of the life quality, entertainment quality, they're still good. There are beaches around, but no way in terms of the living cost and accommodation come close to the Da Nang City. I think that's why a lot of foreigners, overseas people, even experts, when they found their comfort spot in terms of the working remotely, they will move over and they might have the opinion that why I spend so much money from where I live, surrounded with all really big like infrastructure, but still I have to spend a lot of money for that. Why don't I move over to Da Nang City, spend less, and still making the same amount of money, even less, or a little bit like above the standard. That could do. But with the living cost, the living standard, the quality like this in Da Nang offering, I would happy to go for it.
Right. So I think like Da Nang is giving something like an unfair advantage for the people who's living here, and they're actually having everything at a very good like living cost. So
It
like
has been for a few years, and from your opinion, would it be increasing in the future because like more people, more demands, or has to become to the end of that there might be one day that things in Da Nang not cheap anymore?
yeah, I think in the end like when a place get more developed, then the cost accommodate with it will also goes hand in hand. Like, however, the things like the most people, like the foreigners, they come here and they really enjoy the life here. And
They're happy
everything
to
is
spend more
Yeah.
than usual,
right,
and that would increase the cost, isn't
yeah.
it? All right. Speaking about like a place to live in Da Nang, how would be I able to afford or find one property, one piece of the unit in Da Nang? Is that a common thing here? Can I buy for myself? And how would it work?
All right, if you are foreigners and you come here and you enjoy the life here, and sooner or later, then the questions will come to your mind that whether you can actually own a piece of it, right? So, but that's the punchline. So usually in Da Nang, the options for foreigners to buy, to purchase are very rare because like again, we have to come back to the things like sunroof, owns everything. Most of the
Properties?
properties in Da Nang, and they don't sell to foreigners.
Okay.
So that's the thing. So usually right now, when the foreigners come to Da Nang, they really like the life here. They really want to have a peace here, but
It's only renting option.
right,
for
only
now.
renting.
Okay. So speaking of that note, for local people like us from Ho Chi Minh City or Hanoi City, we actually could come to Da Nang City, buy some properties. And in terms of the leasing, renting money, we could make a lot of money out of it because the demand of the people from everywhere who cannot buy the properties directly from the investor. They could come to you via like through agent to agents and actually renting with the higher price than the normal how they are. So that could be a good point that you guys could be considering.
Right.
All right, move on to the next question. Spell out to the rules, and we're just saying like the foreigners cannot buy the properties in Da Nang. So what can a foreigner actually own in Da Nang City?
Well, the rules in Vietnam for foreigners to purchase a property apply everywhere. So again, we have three ways that the foreigners can purchase the property here. The first one is the first one is a no. It means that the foreigners cannot own any landed property outside of a project. For example, if you go on the street and you see like a nice townhouse sitting along on the street and you can't touch it if you are foreigners. However, the second thing, the second point about the foreigners rule owning the property in Vietnam is like they can own up to 30% of the apartments quota within the project. Okay, and then the next rule is speaking about a landed property. If that landed property is sit within a project, so 10% of the landed property within the project can be sold to the foreigners. However, we have to come back to the questions and why most of the sunroof projects, whether they are apartments or they are landed properties in Da Nang, cannot be sold to the foreigners.
Okay.
It is because the sunroof doesn't apply for the license. So they are not keen to this kind of selling to the foreigners part.
Okay.
So
That's not on the picture.
Yeah, they don't apply for this license at all. So that's why the foreigners cannot access to the stock. From
So
sunroof.
and we can connect that to the back to the sunroof lineup. And what would it be?
Yeah, so usually there are a lot of sunroofs line up in Da Nang. If you go everywhere on the beach or the Hang River, you will see all of the famous name. Usually they are all around there. There will be like riverfront village, there are shop houses, and if we watch the firework on the weekend, then you probably very close to the Sun Symphony. So they are most of the lines up of sunroof in Da Nang.
So what does exactly a foreigner could have to get in Da Nang City?
Again, nothing. So only renting options for now.
And the apartments and also like houses as well for renting?
Yeah, so only renting apartments, houses, and then we hope that in the future that maybe sunroof or any new developers coming up that have a nice piece of land so they can actually apply for that license, and then we can have some stock selling to the foreigners.
And that would be applied into like land, villas, and also islands. That's mostly looks mostly like off the table for the foreigners.
Right.
So put it together. If I'm watching this one from approach, what the actual move that we could imagine right now for the people who are watching to the Da Nang City?
All right, so I think there are not so many paths, right? Like everything, we have to come down to three basic one. The first one is if you come to Da Nang, you are foreigners, you like the place, and you can just enjoy the life here with the renting options.
Okay.
We are talking about purchase, real estate purchase options. Then the second way is the second path is whether you are Việt Kiều, you are Vietnamese, but you were born overseas. Then maybe you can own apartment like a locals. And then part number three, like I said, we hope that in the future there's a new developer, so there is a change in sunroof that they can actually apply for the license to sell the properties to the foreigners.
Okay. Looking forward to that.
Right.
All right, and the paperwork is where the people get burned. Here in Da Nang, can you talk a little bit about that one?
The paperwork is really like something very complicated everywhere in Vietnam. But again, it has to come down to the basic rules, so the foreigners can owe up to 30% of the apartment's quota. And then when they buy any apartments, they have to go through like the process from the deposit agreement to purchase agreement and then the pink book. So everything like that is a long process. I suggest you can just connect with either one of us, so we can just give you a better and more like detailed and specific consultant on that.
Okay, let's be honest here. With the overseas people, what are the risks of them when they come to Da Nang City or to stay or to just for a visit here?
Okay, so now the first risk could be like Da Nang is a tourism city, all right, and so the rental demand and the resale will move with the tourism, cycles more than the Saigon, right? And so like it can be rain in the boom and then slower in the loon. And then the supply waves. And currently there are a couple of new supplies going on in Da Nang. So in the future, that can add up into the supply more than usual. And,
All right.
And it can bring the rental yield down.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah. And the last one is like the exit liquidity for the foreigners. Like I said, the foreigners mostly cannot buy anything in Da Nang. So if they can buy, they sometimes will be stuck in like some kind of like unclear ownership with some local developers, like they call it the condotel, which is like also 50 years ownership, but it's some kind of a different kind of ownership. So like this kind usually will have lower liquidity, and it's something we don't suggest people to get. So yeah, those are the risks right now.
Okay. All right. So something that people could take away from your point of view, Casey, just one line.
All right. So we've been to Da Nang a couple of times this year, and this time is about like the summertime, so it's kind of hotter than the early time of this year. But we still enjoy it. Like Da Nang is like rain, everything is simple, and we keep going around, asking a lot of foreigners around why you like Da Nang, why you love Da Nang, and most of them answer because of the first thing is because of the people, right? Second thing is because of the cost of life is pretty cheap, and the third thing is like because of a beautiful beach. So like if something we have to say about Da Nang is really a great place to live. Foreigners, especially the digital nomad, when they come here, they will love it. They will enjoy it. They will spend very little on what they can have. But there's one thing that we have to warn you is about the risk of owning the property in Da Nang. Right now, we still don't have any options. So we suggest you to go with the renting option first, and then keep an eye on the market. Maybe in the very near future, we will have something for you, and then we will make sure that we are the first one to tell you about that if you can subscribe to our channel.
That's most lovely to hear, right? Everyone, just stick with that point, and we are always here for you guys. If you need any help in terms of the consultant advice or any feedback to live or to rent a place in Da Nang City. All right, and another question before we take this podcast away. If you want the full picture, in this part of the series, we have covered Vietnam, the long-term visa, the VIFC Financial Center that I mentioned before from a previous podcast, and no mortgage playbook for foreign buyers. And all the videos on our channels. And so there's something do you would like to add up, Casey, before we finish this podcast?
Yeah, that's all. So if you want to know more about Da Nang, for example, you want to keep an eye on what's coming about, what's buildings coming in Da Nang that foreigners can access to it, and just follow us, subscribe us, and we will make sure we will keep you updated on that.
Thank you again for staying with us until the end of this video. And every postcard from the Realtique house, everything comes from every week, always means something. We always try to find the most interesting topic about Vietnam City, Vietnam and Da Nang City or Ho Chi Minh City in general, to make sure you guys have an updating information about what's going on in Vietnam right now. All right. Again, thank you so much for your watching, and enjoy your day for wherever you are. And we will be enjoying our time in Da Nang City right now. because it's turned out to be a lovely weather today. All right, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. See you again.